We are live. It's another great day. We're having a great live stream with Gio Mola, for our Cribl PM for all things PAX. Just very, very excited to have everyone here. It's been a little bit since we've had a live stream. And so I just thank you for everyone being here. Thank you for the audience. And just really excited to share. I mean, Gio has some just amazing information about what Cribl's doing with PAX, especially around the rest collectors. You may remember a couple months ago before CriblCon, we had G Money, Mr. Glenn, and Gio on with us talking about the talk they were going to give at CriblCon. And so we have more. Gio, how are you doing? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, thanks for having me, Ed. So for those that don't know me, my name is Gio Mola. I am a PM here at Cribl. Been at the company just about a year and a half now, and really excited to give everyone an update today on what we have for our rest packs on the dispensary.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So can you give a little bit of background of the work you've done just before CriblCon and then after CriblCon, and we'll talk about the future in a little bit, but just to give everyone a kind of a starting point.
Yeah, definitely. So beginning of last year, we started out making some huge improvements to the overall pack framework. We made some major architectural changes to how packs are created and what you can put into a pack. So previously, packs were routes and pipelines. You could add knowledge objects to that. So packs really, they served as the main processing layer for all of your data. And in the last 12 months, we've added sources and destinations into the context of a pack, such that now you can bundle the end-to-end telemetry stream into a pack and templatize these packs. So these are like drop in place, ready to go, provide your values, commit and deploy, and you have an end-to-end stream of data going from source to destination. So we think it's a huge improvement to the entire pack framework and just how we think about moving configs around within Cribl.
And I think especially with rest collector setup, previously our rest collector setup was a little awkward. And I think what y'all have done in order to make that easier, more repeatable is awesome.
Yeah, I think that we've already had a lot of great feedback, and I'm really excited about just the amount of steps we've been able to reduce interacting with the rest collector too. So all of these different technologies that we've targeted, we now have given all of our users the ability to just put in their values in a very streamlined way. We need an ID, we need a URL, and usually a bearer token, and then commit and deploy, and you're off to the races. Data's getting picked up. There's no messing around with copying, pasting, different like event breaker JSONs. Everything is packaged directly in the pack.
That's all. That's couldn't ask for more. So I think that's great. Just to let everyone know, if you have feedback, please always ask questions here. Cribl community is a great place. I think we have right now. I think we have 10,000 plus users in our Cribl Slack community. Let your sales rep know. Let your customer success engineer know. We definitely want to hear your feedback. You want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want to hear it all. So Gio, you're ready to do a demo?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into it.
All right, let's do it. This is going to be cool. So just walk us through what we're looking at.
Yeah, so here I'm at the pack lister page. So this is going to be when you jump into a worker group, click the processing tab, go to packs, and this has all of the packs that I have installed on my Cribl instance here. And there's multiple ways to find packs. So you can add packs by clicking this add pack, add from the dispensary. And today we're going to be talking specifically about all of these REST.io packs. And what these REST.io packs are really like representing are REST collectors that we've pre-configured and given you that streamlined workflow where we've put all of the necessary values into variables so that it's easy to install a pack, go to the variables tab, apply your values, and then commit and deploy, and then you can see data coming in. So you can access all of these packs via the in-product dispensary, which is what I have up here, or you can go to packs.cribl.io and do the same thing. It's the same interface. You'll be able to select all of your packs. So I'll start by jumping into one of our packs for Okta. So let's go in here. So we have this Okta REST collector pack. So again, like one thing to note is you might see other packs named cribl.okta.rest. So there's a lot of dash rest packs that are up there. This is before we had the ability to put the sources and destinations into the context of the pack. So for all of you who are following along and have been downloading these previous packs that have just dash rest without the IO, just take note that all of the future enhancements and development will go into these dashed rest IO packs, because this allows us to bundle all of the other configurations that we weren't able to put into packs before, like the event breakers, for example. So you don't have to copy and paste things. So this rest pack has all of my sources configured. It has the event breaker information. I can go into this pack. What you'll notice here is I've got all of this templatized with these variables. So I have a variable in my collect URL. I have a variable in my authorization token value. So this lets me go directly to a pack, go to the knowledge section, click on variables, and you can see that each of these Okta domain and Okta token are available here. So I can open these up, provide the values, and then once I commit and deploy it, I can go back to my source and I can run a preview and verify that data is flowing. So we hope that this just really excites all of our users who've struggled with configuring their REST collectors. This is hopefully really streamlining the entire end-to-end experience so that you don't have to be an expert in the REST collector and how to debug the REST collector. You just need to come in here, provide the values that we set in our variables, and then you're off to the races.
Is there some documentation in the pack about how to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you go to the pack settings page, we have an entire README here that labels out, like lists out the entire process end to end, very detailed instructions. We have a rigorous process for getting all of these packs submitted to the dispensary. So before anything goes to packs.cribl.io, it gets inspected, it gets reviewed. We ensure that all of the details that a user needs to download, install, and configure this are crystal clear. So definitely pay attention to this pack settings page on these READMEs, because they're meticulously looked through before they get posted.
Nice. It's some questions. And so you mentioned sources and destinations inside the pack. What if there's, I have a destination that's not part of the pack. So how do I direct my output to a destination of my choosing?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So one thing that you can do as an option, if you don't want to put your destination directly inside the pack, we have this concept of default destination, and the pack actually picks up the default destination that's set at the worker group. So if you leave this pack completely untouched, you provide the values, you commit and deploy, and you set an output router as your default destination on the worker group that you installed this pack for, that will get the data out of this pack into your output router, and you can use your output router with different filter expressions to control where that data gets sent to.
Okay. What about if I want to send it up to my global routes instead of to a destination? Is it possible to redirect the output from the source to my global routes?
So right now, that's not possible. We have some improvements coming in the future releases that will essentially let you to click this dropdown, see the global routes as a destination, and that will get the data out of the pack into your global routes page so that you can decide where the data goes from there. So that's going to be a future release in probably the spring timeframe of next year.
Okay, that's great. 'Cause I think that's going to give even more flexibility. Because I know for most users, you're going to be sending data to a fairly fixed set of destinations. But I really like the change about going into global routes, because that's going to give ultimate flexibility.
Yeah, definitely. And from your global routes page, you'll be able to pull data directly into packs as well. So there'll be the concept of your source-based packs as well as your destination-based packs, and you'll be able to transfer data between packs using the global routes page. So we think it's going to be really flexible, going to lead to a lot of different options on how you put all of your configurations together. And yeah, I think it's going to really simplify this whole experience.
Nice. And let's talk about pipelines. And so, like, imagine I pull this pack out of the dispensary. Should I have my own custom pipeline inside the pack, or can I push this data? Can I select my own pipeline that's not necessarily in the pack?
Yeah, so you can use our pre-built pipeline here. It comes with a lot of information on what we're doing with this pipeline, or you can create your own pipeline. You can come in here, add a pipeline to your pack, and change any of the transformation logic. to your use case. The option's mostly up to you as to what you want to do with it.
Okay, that
But
makes
we've
sense.
given you a starting point.
Yeah, that's great. So what about if you release an update to the pack? And I've made customizations to the pack I've already downloaded. So how does that work? I mean, so is there a way to safely merge the updates that are coming from the Cribble dispensary, or do I have to do something else?
Yeah, it's a great question. So if you make any updates to your pipelines, you will be able to preserve those updates because they will be saved to the local layer of this application, of this pack. So any updates that come from the Cribl Packs dispensary will be written to the default layer of this pack. So your local overrides will always be there. If you're doing anything to the knowledge objects, so this is going to be specifically event breakers or lookup files, that would be something that you would want to customize and rename before pulling any of this in, because that would get overwritten because this does not have the sense of a default and local layer. So one thing to note is, like, before you update anything, if you did any customization in your knowledge objects, that would be something that you need to ensure you back up, you create another copy, you inspect all of the new things that we push through the app, and then that'll make sure that nothing gets overwritten there.
Okay, and so do you think that's going to change in the future, or do you think knowledge management is going to be just it is what it is?
Yeah, we've definitely been having a lot of conversations internally on how we can make that better, how we can make the rest of the pack behave, the knowledge section essentially behave just like the pipeline sources and destinations objects in the pack. Still looking to still having conversations on what that might look like, but I think look out for some interesting things that might come in the next major release.
All right, that's exciting. Do you mind going into the PAX interface and just show how you would do an update and do a safe merge?
Yeah, definitely. So unfortunately, all of these are the most updated. So we're not going to see anything majorly change here, but you can see that in this tab, you have an upgrade button. You can collect that upgrade, and this will upgrade the pack to the latest. So I actually did have a previous version of the Akamai REST Collector pack, and that brought in the latest.
Oh,
And
so it's going to do a safe merge by default, though.
so this will do safe merge by default. I still recommend bringing in a new copy and saving it via a new ID. So that would be the best way to do it, or use a lower level environment like a development environment, do your update there, inspect all of the changes that were brought in, and decide whether get a new call.
Hmm.
Sorry about that, folks. I will close this out.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and those are the kind of things to kind of look at and see what makes sense there. And it just always, because I think the dispensary process is great. I just want to make sure people understand the things to think about as you do an upgrade, to be careful about. And also, I really encourage a lower environment, test it out, understand your expectations, because I think that's critically important before you make a production change.
Absolutely. And it's also a good opportunity to explore what it looks like when you use your pack with a Git repo. Because
Right.
now, and for a long time, like, packs have supported an integration with Git.
Right.
So there's a lot of opportunities to do a full CI/CD, do code promotion, have automation come into play. So we've seen a lot of customers take advantage of that workflow, and it's worked really well for them. It allows more collaboration. So there's a lot of really exciting stuff you can get to when you integrate these packs with a Git repo.
So, is there anything else you want to share in terms of things to think about, things to do, what to try first? I mean, say for example, someone hasn't started this process before. How would you recommend they get started?
Yeah. So with packs or with Git or both, which area
Like
do you think we should dive
start especially with packs. So, like a REST collector pack. How would you recommend someone new to this get started?
Yeah. So what I would recommend is, like, obviously always using a development environment when possible. This environment I'm using right now, I'm just running Docker, running it locally, and running a
Mhm.
Cribl container. So that makes it really easy for me to experiment and test with changes. And with within that, I can add a pack. I can go to the dispensary. I can search REST.io, and I can see all the different packs that I have access to here. So I would recommend starting with one of the technologies that you see are supported across these packs. So we went over the Okta REST Collector one. You can talk about OpenAI, for example, if you're using any of the OpenAI APIs to do any kind of development. Once you open up one of those packs, so I'll open up OpenAI. All you need to do to get started is go to the Knowledge tab and click Variables and upload your OpenAI API token. So you can see that in the description, we have this required field we have here. And
Right.
that's what will let you know that this is what we need in order to operationalize this pack. So once you update that with the value, then you can go over, obviously, and then go to your sources. And we can go and look at one of the runs for this. And you can see that data is flowing. So this is really the nice thing about these REST.io packs is we've packaged everything together so that you don't have to worry about the event breakers. You don't have to worry about any other knowledge objects. Everything is pieced together in a way such that you just need to give us the authentication details and URL of what endpoint you want to hit, and we can get you that data and help you deliver it to whatever destination you need to.
That's super cool. And especially you're talking about AI. So we got to say AI 3 times in order to make sure,
Yeah.
hey, let's ride the wave of AI. But so let's talk about some of the use cases for. So, what would you do with this data from OpenAI?
Yeah. So for what you're looking at here, like you can see all the different endpoints that we're hitting on this OpenAI account. So this is going to be audit logs. So who's getting access, who's creating tokens, who's signing in, all of the audit related details for this specific endpoint. And when you go into cost, this is going to be like how much each of these calls is actually costing. You're getting a daily view of what costs are happening against your OpenAI account. You can see completions, image generations, different transcripts, who's using the actual OpenAI APIs, and
Nice.
what projects have been created.
That's awesome.
And tons of information there. In the future, we're going to be releasing one for ChatGPT Enterprise. So this is going to give you full fidelity on any enterprise level ChatGPT account that's being used in the organization and all of the audit history and audit logging of that data. So you can make sure that no users are leaking sensitive information into these LLM calls. So look for a feature pack on ChatGPT's enterprise version coming soon.
Are you doing anything with Gemini?
Yeah, so we actually also have a Gemini pack that's available, and I can open that one up here. Oh, let's install it. So in the Gemini pack, it's important to know. So we have two. Oh, we have two different Google Workspace packs. So or two different packs from Google. So we have this Google Workspace REST Collector pack. So this is going to be giving you everything that's in the actual Google Workspace. This is going to be like every time you access G Drive, Google Docs, Gmail, and if you use Gemini or Gemini is activated in any of those things, this will also give you data from within here. And on the flip side of that, we have a specific Gemini pack, and that Gemini pack is going to give you all of the actual interactions with Gemini in itself. So I know when I show it here, because I'm running a local instance, I will just preview it for you so you can see. So you can see Gemini, and that's going to be everything from Google Cloud, Cloud Assist, directly like Vertex from the API Gemini, as well as AI Studio. So this is going to give you a full look into everything that's happening within Gemini and how different users are interacting with Gemini within the corporate domain.
That's cool. So let's sort of transition to what the future looks like. So let's go back to the REST collector. So what do you think? We already mentioned You're going to release a fix about global routes coming up in springtime. So what do you see for the future of your Rust collector packs? Short term, next 3 months, next 6 months.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be one of the biggest updates is getting data out of the pack itself and easily ported into other packs. We're also putting a lot of work into creating better fidelity monitoring within packs. So for right now, if you create any of these source and destination packs and you go to our monitoring pages, what you'll see is we have data flowing through the source, we have data flowing through the destination, and all of the routes and pipelines, if the data is going through a pack, get obfuscated into one line item. So you see less clarity as to like where individual routes are taking your data and which pipelines they're actually sending that data to. So we're putting some enhancements into monitoring such that you'll be able to see every route, every pipeline, and
Nice.
how data flows through the pack end to end.
Well, will that be included in Insights?
Yes. So once we add this additional level of telemetry within the pack, this will also start showing up in insights as well.
Nice. That's awesome. So we talked about global routes. We talked about monitoring. Any other big changes in the next 3 to 6 months?
So we'll also be putting notifications in packs. So
Nice.
right now, you'll be able to set a notification and have that notification essentially attached to the pack. So that'll go through end to end. I think it's also worth noting that when you're thinking about these source and destination packs, one of the big benefits of limiting the amount of data that goes from a source to destination or having like the simplified architecture of I'm putting my source and destination all in one pack is you really simplify your routes table.
Right.
So this doesn't require you to go back to the entire routes table that could be like 100 expressions and update that and hope that it works right and that you're getting the right data in. Like in the example of a simple, I need a pack that is going to be picking up data from a new syslog port and sending to a destination via a different token on the other end, you can easily onboard this quicker and faster because you're not messing with anything that's happening at the global routes page. Everything is contained in this end-to-end telemetry stream such that you can easily onboard, test, make changes, and make updates. And then it simplifies the troubleshooting journey when you need to figure out what's going wrong with one of your newly onboarded data sources. So
Absolutely.
just something to keep in mind, something that customers have gotten a big benefit from, and that I see this being useful for other customers who are looking for ways to push incremental updates into their Cribl environment.
So how about this? Let's on our next live stream. Let's definitely go through how to manage your top line routes because I think that's a struggle that anyone who's running Cribl has, and so I think that'll be a good some strategies for simplifying it and making it more repeatable. So I think that'll be a really good topic.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
So going back because we have to talk about AI. Let's talk about from expansion from an AI perspective with AI pack. So you mentioned we're going to Chat GPT. Anything else that you're looking at?
Yeah, we are looking at, let's see, we're looking at getting data from Amazon Bedrock, making that an easier experience. So if you're using any of their tooling like Amazon Bedrock, Amazon SageMaker, that would
Hmm.
be, those are two other packs that we have coming up in our queue. Also looking into Azure OpenAI and AI Foundry. So
Nice.
just ensuring that we're covering all of the major shops and making it easy to get all of that AI exhaust productionized through your Cribl environment so that you can control all of the data that is flowing into your end destinations and just make it really easy to get your hands on all of that AI data that is lurking around the corporate entity, but is maybe less tangibly getting operated on and sucked through different pipelines and ensured that like there is the proper monitoring in place. We really are making an initiative this year to make it easy to onboard AI data and get that through to your SIEMs or to wherever data warehouses or data lakes that you're sending to.
That's very cool. This has been outstanding. I want to thank you very much. You have any other kind of closing remarks, things that we can talk about next in our next live stream?
I think we should definitely put a Git one on there because I'd love to go through like the end-to-end flows of what does it looks like to have different branches of a Git pack and how to do code promotion. I think that's a topic that I get into a lot of times with customers when they're looking for better ways to collaborate with their colleagues on different
Yeah, sure.
changes and updates to packs. So yeah, I think that, a huge shout out to everyone at the team who's made these updates this year. It's been going really well, and we really appreciate them. And we're always trying to make things better and easier. So if you have comments or if you have any feedback, please let us know. We have a Slack channel that is in Cribl our Cribl domain for the community that's just called Packs. So go ahead and post there. We're pretty responsive, and yeah, always take every feedback seriously. So thanks again for having me on, Ed. This is really fun.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Y'all
Yeah,
have made amazing progress with Packs. I encourage everyone who's using Cribl, take a hard look at Packs. You want to use Packs. It's your suitcase with a handle for your code. So just, definitely take a look at it. And I look forward to it. Let's do some more of these and show off all the great progress that your team's making.
awesome. Yeah, that'd be great, Ed. Thanks so much,
Hey,
man.
take care. Everyone have a great day. Enjoy your Friday and have an even better weekend. Take care.